Hello students, welcome to Alforce e-learning senior intermediate English class. In the previous sessions, I taught you lessons and poems and one story also. I am very much excited to continue one more session. My dear young students, in this session I would like to explain or I would like to narrate the story from second module, that is Parige, written by Vattikota Alvar Swami. Before I start the question or before I start the session, I request all of you to pay attention. My dear students, my question is, do you know what is poverty? Have you ever seen the people in starvation? Have you ever noticed the poor people who are insulted or ill-treated? Have you ever witnessed how the poor people or how the downtrodden people in society are eliminated or expelled from society? Have you ever got such experiences in your life? So here is a story of a young man who suffered a lot. Because of his poverty, his life is ruined. We can come to know many things in this particular story. The writer of the story is Vattikota Alvar Swami, born at Medaram village near Nakrekal in Nalgonda district. He was a Telugu writer, human rights activist, communist leader, journalist, publisher, and was the first novelist in Telugu. He was born in a upper caste poor family and he could not afford for higher education. Nevertheless, out of his interest, he learnt Telugu and got command over Telugu. His frugal life taught him many lessons. He identified himself with oppressed people. He maintained close proximity with poor people, and that is evident in his writings. That is the content for him in his short stories also. He wrote almost 12 short stories, out of which one is Parige, which is part of the short story inside the prison. In Telugu it is called jail lopala. Then what is meant by parige? Leftover stack of paddy. Dear children, if you visit fields when the harvest is going on, in the thrashing floor, you can find the leftover stock after the process is completed. That is known as parige. This story is in the form of flashback. The story begins like this. Please pay attention, dear students. It is the prison. All the prisoners were sent into the cells at 7 p.m. And then the Jawans came into veranda and started gossiping. They described their atrocities in various prisons on prisoners as great deeds. They also say about how the prisoners tried to escape and how their trials are suppressed. How that means the Jawans quell their trials, suppress the trials of prisoners. They revealed all these things as their great experiences. At that time, there was a wailing sound heard from one of the cells. Wail means a loud cry. The prisoner inside tried to control, but he could not control his anguish and he exploded. And of course, the fear was evident even in his cry also, because in the prisons, the prisoners are not entitled to cry even. In the veranda, the Jawans express that these prisoners don't even allow us to speak leisurely. And they also treat the wailing of a prisoner is a common thing. There in the prison, the co-prisoners who were thinking about their outside world turned to the person who was wailing, and that person was Mr. Mallaya. Main character Mallaya, he was crying. All looked at him with consternation and commiseration. Consternation means anxiety, and commiseration means with some sympathy. In the veranda, the Jawans said that these prisoners, irrespective of their caste, community, religion, place, village, they are all same. They all belong to the same societal tree. They are blasted fruits. Here, blasted fruits is a phrase which is expressed to indicate one's anger. So the co-prisoners came to Mallaya. When they came, his wailing is somewhat decreased. But when the acquaintances came to him, close associates came to him, again his wailing swelled up. Again he cried and he started sobbing. One of the prisoners said, he might have recollected something. Then other prisoner said, he should have thought before he came to the prison. One more prisoner said, why do you worry? It's only 3 months. Half of my life is spent in the prison only. I come here and go out frequently. When I come, when I go, I don't know. One of the close associates came to Mallaya and asked him with some sort of affectionate tone, Mallanna, say Mallanna, what happened to you? Why are you crying, Mallanna? Like that, one close associate asked Mallaya. Then Mallaya visualized his father is in bed. He is in bedridden condition. Everything is appeared before him. And he might have revealed the situation like this. In fact, actually, Mallaya is a Vantu Madiga, a Harijan who works in turns in a village. When Mallaya was a small child, his mother died after giving birth to a small female child. Mallaya's father, though he had worked hard, he had a life of only hand to mouth, that's it. And now he is bedridden and he is awaiting his death. He is waiting for his death. As he is bedridden, it is inevitable, means unavoidable to Mallaya to work or to take the total responsibility of his family. One is to look after his bedridden father and his medical expenditure. Then his sister, who was born at the time of his mother's death, And another sister who was 10 to 12 years old, 12 years old, who was ready for marriage. At that time there were child marriages. All these grave responsibilities were rested on the shoulders of Mallaya, and he was the only, or he was the sole breadwinner of that family. How pathetic the situation was, you can imagine, my dear young students. One day, and Mallaya was working as a messenger in that village. Besides that work, he did other works also. In fact, he did not have time. And sometimes, besides doing messenger job, he accompanied the government officers to go other places. And at that time, Mallaya's sister did that work, messenger job. Besides looking after her father, who was bedridden. This is the situation of Mallaya's family at that time. One day, Mallaya, when he came home in the evening, his father's condition was deteriorating, and there was nothing to feed him. There was no food at all. Mallaya's sister sat beside his father and she was crying. Mallaya consoled her and said to her that he would bring something, saying that he went out. He went out of the village outskirts. There he was pondering. At that time he saw the labor people in the fields who were haggling about the price. Haggling means arguing. Who were arguing about the price with the owner. What was happening there? There was harvesting. Harvesting process was going on. All the paddy crop is tied up as bundles, and what they do is they hit those bundles to the ground. Once upon a time it was the practice. Nowadays there are harvesters. Previously it was done by human beings only. When this was done, some of the stack of paddy scattered here and there. That scattered paddy, leftover stack of paddy, is nothing but parige. And at that time, in those days, money was not given. Only some paddy was given to the workers. The owner did not accept to give. They requested him, they implored him, they begged him like anything. Ayya, Anna bedtam ayya. Konjamiyaya Banchana Dora, like that. In Telugu it is expressed. So he threw some paddy into their laps like this, as if when we eat, some food falls here and there. So like that he was throwing into their laps. How autocratic it was, you can imagine. So this was observed by Mallaya, and he thought, though they worked from morning to evening, their situation was like that. What about me? He thought. After some time, all the labor people left that particular place, and of course, owner also left that place. And it was evening. Almost it became dark. In that twilight, this Mallaya entered the thrashing floor and he collected some parige and made a bundle. Carrying that bundle in his hands, he felt like a warrior. He was moving like a valiant warrior with delight. Valiant means brave. Warrior means soldier. Delight means happiness. Why was he happy? Because he was going to provide some food to his father and sister. Then suddenly, when he was going, and of course, when he was going, he happened to see the bundles of paddy. There were many bundles. First he felt some sort of jealous, but then he realized, but he never thought about them. He never thought of taking one more bundle from that. Just whatever he had in his hands, he satisfied with that, and he treated the other bundles as mushrooms. They are like mushrooms for me, like that he thought, and started moving. Suddenly, the owner came into picture. Who is that going there? He expressed. Mallaya stopped and looked here and there. Then that owner came and asked Mallaya, who are you? Where are you from bringing that bundle? By keeping his hands over a stick kept over his neck, like this. He was moving. Then Mallaya revealed the fact. Collecting parige, is it a crime? He asked. Then that owner retorted furiously. He said very angrily, you seem to be mighty presumptuous, means very arrogant. Keep the bundle there. Then Mallaya realized the situation. And he started requesting. He revealed the predicament, unpleasant, difficult situation of his father. He beseeched in utter objection. Beseeched means begged. Abjection means humbleness. Abjection. In a humble manner, he begged that owner. Yeah, our father is not in good position. He is bedridden. He doesn't have anything to eat. Please leave me. I will provide him food with this saru, like that he requested. Then, incompassionate fellow, unkind fellow, he understood that Mallaya had stolen parige from his field and said, "To whom are you born? Keep the bundle there." Like that he uttered. Mallaya understood the situation and simply he pressed the bundle under his armpit and started running. And he was chased by the owner. Both were running towards the village. As Mallaya reached the shed at the village center, he saw his sister standing beside the wall and crying. When Mallaya went out, the police patel, a government official in the village, sent one of the Seth Sindhis, a 4th class employee who looks after the crops in the villages. One of the Seth Sindhis was sent to Mallaya's house. And Mallaya's sister was asked to come out, and when she came to Police Patel asked her to go to another village as a bonded laborer. So Mallaya saw his sister there crying, and she also saw him. And she thought that he had come there to rescue her or to protect her. While Mallaya was going towards his sister, you know that he was chased by the owner. That owner bet on Mallaya's back with his stick forcefully. Mallaya said these words, "I am dead." He said these words and fell down. His sister came to him and both were crying. This was the situation there. And the police patel, what he did, you know, he ordered the Seth Sindhis to separate the siblings, Mallaya and his sister. So this man who bet Mallaya with a stick came to the police patel and gave a complaint that a bundle of parge had been stolen by Mr. Mallaya from his fields. Mallaya was tied to the post of the shed, pillar of the shed. And that night, Mallaya's sister was sent to another village as a bonded labor. So that police Patel is maintaining a crooked governance, and as a pretension he expressed some kind words. How is their father? Then one of the Seth Sindhis revealed, he has been bedridden for 6 months. He is neither alive nor dead. When he dies, can they tell, are they Brahmaputras? They are loafers. You see, he says these words. How crooked that man is towards poor people, towards Dalits. They tell all lame excuses. So in that way, that Seth Sindhi revealed. The next day, Mallaya was sent to police station, and from there he might have sent to court, and he is given a punishment of 3 months. Now he is imprisoned. Mallaya thought about his father. Mallaya thought about his sister. His sister was sent to another village as a bonded labor to some other family. So Mallaya thought about all these things. From there only he was sent to prison. This is what actually happened. This he might have revealed. And later, after some days, Mallaya went to bazaar from prison on some work. Sometimes prisoners were sent out to do that work. In the bazaar, he happened to see one of his acquaintances of his village. He took permission from the Jawan. Jawan might be very kind. He allowed him. And he was told by that acquaintance from his village that his father died. His sister was sent to some other village as a bonded labor, and his house was in dilapidated condition. Totally the house was destroyed or ruined. So Mallaya's heart was burning. It was alarming, it was shocking, and he was astounded, he was shocked. Everything he kept in his heart only. He did not say a word. And if he had cried there, people would have gathered. And he did not want to blame the Jawan who supported him. That's why he kept anguish in his heart only. After going to the prison and after lunch, he went to his cell and his heart was smoldering means burning without a fire. What happened to my sister? He cried a lot. He wailed like anything. He shouted like anything. So that was the unpleasant situation of Malaya. What could he do? How the downtrodden people treated at that time. For his no fault, just he collected some parige and he requested the owner like anything. But his request was not accepted. Instead, he was given severe punishment, and due to that, total his life was ruined. So that was the condition of Dalits. That was the condition of poor people who were in starvation during those days, during Nizam rule. Even our author also worked against supporting the poor people. He fought against the Nizam rulers at that time. So the landlords also tortured the downtrodden people. That is being explained vividly, very clearly in this particular story, my dear students. And it is really hurts the readers. My dear young students, this story is translated. This was written in Telugu. This was translated into English by Dr. Elanaga. It's a miserable story of a young man who lost everything. Dear students, I think you might have understood the story well. When you get the books, please read the stories. You can have plenty of words. You can enhance your vocabulary like anything. Just read them again and again. You can enrich your knowledge in English. That will be very much useful to you. Short stories you should read frequently. And you know very well that there will be a paragraph question and a comprehension passage from stories. Read all the stories. Collect number of words, by heart them. Improve vocabulary. And of course, you can also improve your reading skills. Okay, dear students, this is the story. Second story is completed. And I am very happy that you are listening to the story and you have paid much attention. For that, I am grateful to you for listening to my lecture. Dear young students, thank you very much.